Alright, fellas, we need to lay down some ground rules. Rule number one, each debater will be able to make 3 points. Number two, the encounter is a random encounter that will take place in a neutral location with neither combatant knowing anything about their opponent or giving any time to prep. 3. The exact version of the character has to be specifically stated. For example, if you are using Superman, you must specify if it's Superman from the films, animation, or comic books. Again, the debater must stay within that version of the character. So Ezra, what version of DoomSlayer will you be using?
I use the most up-to-date current version of the DoomSlayer, which
Alright,
most of my stuff was based off of Doom Eternal.
sweet. And I'll be using the main canonical version of Master Chief, which includes all the games as well as a few novels, but I mostly stuck to the games. Rule number 4, each debater must use examples of powers, abilities, or weapons that are part of the specific character's continuity, or at least were with that character for a good deal of time. One-off examples of powers or abilities that were used only once in the character's history will not be allowed. Number 5. The judge can disallow or veto a point made by one of the debaters if they feel it goes outside the scope of the battle or is irrelevant to the fight. And lastly, the winner of the debate is whomever the judge decides has the best ability to incapacitate their opponent to the degree where they can safely walk away with no further threat being present. This includes completely destroying their opponent, removing them from the field of battle, restraining them, or knocking them out. These battles are not necessarily death matches. So, Ezra, may I postulate that a fair and even battleground for these two to be would be an abandoned New York City.
Yes.
I don't think either character serves a necessary advantage there. Okay. Jeremy, do you have any questions before we begin?
Nope.
Alrighty. For my point number one, I want to talk about Master before the Chief. When he was 6 years old, John lived a normal childhood on Earth in the 26th century. When he was abducted into the Spartan program at the age of 6 because a lady came to him and tossed a coin 5 times, and each time John was able to correctly guess which way the coin would flip. But he actually wasn't guessing it at all. His perceptiveness, his mind ran so fast that he could see which way the coin was going to land before it even landed. So obviously they kidnapped him. For years he endured daily combat training, mastering multiple martial arts, and one time he found himself on the opposite side of a battle with a Spartan named Locke. Now this Spartan is in many ways on par with Master Chief, and when they did eventually fistfight, Locke managed to crack Master Chief's visor, which only pissed him off. Master Chief proceeded to demolish Locke after that. Chief is a master tactician, a top marksman, and a great leader. And by the age of 14, John had reached peak physical fitness. At the age of 14, he was a Captain America level character. He was able to run at 35 miles per hour, could bench press 3 times his own body weight. He was at the top of his class in all categories of all the Spartans. His class was put into an experimental program that ended up killing half of the students that went through it and maimed many others, leaving them permanently disfigured. This process was a lot like what happens to Wolverine, if you're familiar with that, where they coated his bones in a near unbreakable metal as well as pumped him with a super soldier type serum. So picture Captain America being pumped with the super soldier serum, like an already Captain America level character. His muscle rate is faster. He typically runs about 50 miles per hour, but can sprint in bursts of up to 70. And he can bench press over a ton. And that is my point number one.
My point number one, I'll just give you the background information of Doomslayer as of the first game. So he was just a regular Marine. that, when ordered to fire upon civilians, decided to turn around and shoot his commanding officer. So as punishment, he was sent to Mars in order to guard researchers who were working on cracking open a gate to hell. And then all hell broke loose, and so he fought his way through Mars to get back to Earth, and was able to kill was the only survivor, was able to kill all the demons. And once he got back to Earth, he found the only thing that he loved on Earth, his pet rabbit, was killed. So keep in mind, this game was made back when video games weren't supposed to be taken too seriously, so it was just this dumb thing. The only thing he loved was his rabbit, and the demons made it to Earth and killed his rabbit. So he goes back to Hell, and that's when Doom 2 takes place, where he goes and just kills everything in Hell. And he does that for thousands of years without tiring. Just unrelented rage against the demons who killed his rabbit. And eventually another demon betrays demonkind and gives him the Praetor suit. And the Praetor suit is able to basically buff all of his stats and have him channel the energy of hell that he gets from killing demons, and channel that into his suit. And it can allow him to do a few different things. It can allow him to buff the damage of his weapons to up to 4 times. It can allow him to push himself to overdrive and go and run around at sustained speeds of almost 100 miles an hour and reload his weapons faster if they are weapons that need to be reloaded. He doesn't need to reload most of his weapons. And there's also the rage. He can also channel it into rage and like triple his strength and one-hit melee kill anything with the Praetor suit. Also, the Praetor suit has been shown to be indestructible pretty much to any type of Earth-made weaponry, and even demon weaponry. Then, I don't know exactly when, at some point he gets teleported to the planet of the Night Sentinels, where he's eventually chosen to receive, well, not chosen, the planet is attacked by the demons, and he is secretly powered up with the power of the Maker Gods, which also strengthened him even more. That's it for my point 1, I guess. Yeah.
My point number 2. I want to talk about Master Chief's arsenal and weapons. First off, he'll be carrying his MA-5C assault rifle, which is probably his most iconic weapon. It's a reliable burst weapon that's great at close and long range. He'll be having his M90 shotgun, which is a shotgun so powerful that it's banned on Earth. This thing has the capability to blast holes through concrete buildings and even tear through shields designed specifically to block gunfire. He will also be using his very powerful sniper rifle, which is where I believe his advantages really shine. DoomSlayer seems like a character that is best optimized when he is up close and personal. Ezra brought up how he can kill things in one punch, and he's got this great chainsaw weapon, great shotguns. Master Chief is a character that is that deadly at every single range. He thrives at all ranges of combat. But if the battle does get up close and personal, Master Chief has his most powerful weapon, the M6 Spartan Laser. It's a heat-based weapon that completely annihilates everything it touches. It's pretty much a mini Death Star that he carries around. Completely just disintegrates whatever it touches. His suit has light refracting camouflage, kind of like the Helicarrier in the Avengers movies. Kind of looks like the Predator. It's not completely invisible, but if you're not looking for him, you're not going to find him. He is equipped with a force shield, which recharges after only 2 seconds of being taken down. Now, this shield surrounds his already insane armor that I'll get to in a later point, and it can take heavy artillery fire before taking it down, and even after that, it only takes 2 seconds to recharge fully, and it's up again. So DoomSlayer's going to have a 2-second window to even do any damage on the guy. He has a bubble shield, which is like a little grenade he can throw down, and it surrounds him, and it can tank the even more damage than his normal shield. And last off, he'll have his energy sword. Doomslayer's gonna try to get in close. I imagine he might be able to given his speed. Master Chief's got his energy sword, which is practically just a 4-foot long lightsaber. It can block shots like a lightsaber, and it's capable of tearing through limbs and even tanks. Overall, his assortment of weapons and equipment it's so much more diverse than anything Doomslayer is going to have, anything he's prepared for. Doomslayer's used to coming up against little demons with pistols, can maybe shoot a fireball at him. Master Chief goes up against Doomslayer level opponents every day of the week. He's just going to think he's another Spartan in his eyes, and he's going to take him down without hesitation. And that is my point number 2.
I have pulled up with me right here the arsenal of the Doomslayer as of most recently, and he has a whole arsenal of weapons. The Doomblade, which is a modification to the Praetor suit, which is an arm-mounted, out the front assault knife, which is strong enough to sever demonic flesh and bone, and the blade's serrated edge allows the Slayer to break through enemies' defenses and attack where conventional weaponry is ineffective. He's also going to be carrying his ballista. It's the weapon of choice for Sentinel marksmen. The ballista fires a twin beam of superheated argent energy, vaporizing the target on impact. He's also going to be carrying with him the BFG 9000, which is almost identical to the Spartan laser, which will pretty much destroy anything that it comes in contact with. It can clear out an entire room of demons and the most like some of the most powerful demons in one shot. He's also going to be carrying around his chain gun, which has a attachable scope, which you can fire at long range if need be. The AE cartridge used special electromagnetic casing designed specifically for the M220's rail system, which increases projectile velocity and reduces overheating. He's also going to have his chainsaw, but seeing how Master Chief's armor will be ineffective against the chainsaw, it's just there for show, really. Mm-hmm. He's going to have the combat shotgun, which has modifications to it that allows it to be fired in full auto or attach sticky grenades to it. Also going to be carrying his version of the energy sword, which is called the Crucible, which is powered by Argent Energy and does basically everything the same as the energy sword, except it can also cleave the most powerful demons in half. The Doomslayer killed one of the most powerful demons in Hell called the Titan with just his Crucible. He also has his shoulder-mounted grenade launcher, which can fire regular explosives or freezing explosives that can freeze enemies in place. He also has his heavy cannon. Oh wait, no, the heavy cannon's the one that can be used as a sniper rifle, and the chain gun is just like a mobile minigun that he can turn into a mobile turret with a shield on it. He'll also be carrying a rocket launcher, which can have tracking rounds. He'll also be carrying a plasma rifle and the super shotgun, which has a meat hook on it, which can he can fire the meat hook and close the distance extremely quickly. He's also will be carrying the Unmaker, which is basically the BFG, but can be fired in full auto mode. I want to take very quick note of the plasma rifle here, seeing how Master Chief's armor's only weakness is plasma-based energy, and the Doomslayer has a plasma rifle that could tear through his shields, and then all he would have to do is fire a BFG shot, and Master Chief would be done. And so that is my point 2.
And now we are at the magical moment, the turning point, where the judge has to state who he sees as in the lead right now, and what the other person has to do to change the tide of the battle. So Jeremy, who do you think is kind of winning so far, if you had to pick a winner right now? And what does the other person kind of have to prove to you that they can come ahead?
I'm going to have to go with Ezra as winning right now. Purely because most of Ezra's points kind of, as far as the Doomslayer, proved to me more that he would win. He talked more in depth and more comparisons of, he faced this demon and this demon and this demon, whereas you pretty much only compared the Doomslayer to one of the Sentinels. Are you
talking Master Chief to Sentinel?
Yeah.
To another
Yeah.
Spartan. Another Spartan.
Oh, okay. Besides that, Ezra's kind of been more in depth of.
Okay, so you want
Specifically
more
with the
kind of
plasma
specific
rifle?
opponents he can defeat type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The plasma rifle point is kind of killing you right now
What-
because that's probably the best weapon that the DoomSlayer has.
Okay.
And that's Master Chief's biggest weakness is plasma-based weapon.
Okay.
So you're
Well,
gonna
I
have to
think
find a way around that.
I got some tricks up my sleeve that will help me with that. So that being said, let's get into point number 3. And my point number 3 I call the Might of Mjolnir. I haven't even brought up his power armor yet. John is suited with the Mjolnir Mark 6 suit, which increases the wearer's strength by 2.5 times. So he can lift up to around a ton, just base. Now 2 times 2.5, I'm not quite sure. I believe that's 6 tons that he can just lift 12,000 pounds. He was so strong that he was able to punch an alien battle tank and it just exploded. The suit displays a HUD capable of tracking enemies along with a targeting system to increase accuracy. So he's already a master marksman. And along with this targeting system, he never misses a shot. You'll never see Master Chief miss a shot unless I'm playing as him. And he'll have complete battlefield knowledge due to this HUD. He can find loose weapons, things he can use to his advantage, upper vantage points, ways to get away from the opponent. The suit is capable of producing oxygen if he's stuck in space or in a place where he won't be able to breathe, as well as a substance called biofoam, which is able to heal large wounds. One time, a Spartan soldier took a direct shotgun blast to the face, and thanks to the biofoam, he was back up and fighting within 2 minutes. His head was like almost completely gone, and within 2 minutes, thanks to this biofoam, he was able to be back up and fighting. It could even repair lost limbs. His suit is coated in a titanium alloy, making it extremely hard to pierce with normal bullet fire, which is a lot of Doom's arsenal. And with the help of his suit, Master Chief was able to survive a fall from orbit, not once but twice, and both times he just stood up and kept fighting. The Mjolnir armor is connected to John's brain. The suit knows what John's gonna do before he even knows what he's gonna do, giving him reaction times of just milliseconds. He can easily dodge bullet fire. The way they kind of describe a Spartan is that it's the equivalent to one entire sector fleet, which, like, if you don't know Halo, I would most compare that to like a single Star Destroyer in Star Wars, and kind of like all what that would entail. That's just what Master Chief himself is capable of taking down. And that's just a baseline Spartan. Master Chief is above that. He's able to lift large aliens and monsters and toss them around like toys. His suit is equipped with thrusters, allowing him to fly short distances. Certainly not like Iron Man, but more kind of like how Hulk can just jump from place to place very far. And now, due to the Halo Infinite trailer, it's now equipped with a grappling hook in the wrist, which will be capable of getting him higher vantage points, getting away quicker, pulling him towards someone. But now I want to get into Master Chief's kind of ace in the hole. That's right, that's not even it. His suit is fitted with an AI system you may know as Cortana. Cortana is built into the suit, and she is a tactical genius, delivering battlefield information, advice on what weapons to use. She can study the opponent to learn attack patterns. Now, I don't think this battle is going to be quick. I think Ezra and I can both agree that neither one of these people can one-shot the other right away. This battle is going to go on for a while, and every second it goes on, Cortana is just learning information about DoomSlayer, finding out what his weaknesses are, finding out what his strengths are, and delivering that information straight to John's brain. He's already a master tactician. She's gonna just map out where to go, when to go, Yeah, the longer this fight goes on, the more of a chance Master Chief has to win. She's able to hack into enemy systems. Doomslayer has a very similar kind of power armor to Master Chief. She's been able to hack into enemy power armor countless times, completely disabling them, freezing them in place. Just it's insane. She's gonna just disable. She can disable shields, disable entire weapons. Once you want examples, Master Chief was once fighting this character who pretty much had the Halo equivalent to the Force, which Master Chief really didn't have an answer to. This guy was just tossing him around the room, kind of destroying him. Cortana was able to hack into the floor, the very ground they were standing on, send up electric pulses to just restrain this insanely powerful Palpatine-level character and just pin them to the floor, where Master Chief was then able to just go up and just destroy. The way I see this battle going, they're going to start on opposite sides. Master Chief's going to be able to get a few clips in on the sniper rifle, but Doom Guy's, he's best up close. He's going to just be sprinting, and like Ezra said, 100 miles per hour, that's pretty fast. He's going to catch up. Master Chief is probably going to take a couple hits from him. This is a very powerful, very fast opponent. Cortana's just going to be running through all the numbers, getting everything in. John's going to understand just what threat he's facing. He's going to use grapple hooks, his thrusters, get away. He's going to do whatever he can, because Doom really doesn't seem like he has an answer to that type of thing. Doom is not what I would call a tactician. He is a guy that sees something and it's kind of like this unstoppable force that's just gonna charge. Kind of like the Rhino. He's not a smart guy. He's super powerful. He's a tank. But he's not gonna come in with the strategy that the Chief is gonna have. He's just gonna be coming at him, and it's gonna cause him to make stupid mistakes. And that is my point number 3.
So, some more information about the Praetor suit. The Praetor suit is a... no one really knows exactly what it is. It's been tested against military-grade weapons and has not been able to make a scratch. And before the Doomslayer got the Praetor armor, he was able to rip and tear through demons with an incredible amount of strength. And tear smaller demons apart like it was candy. And then once he got his Praetor suit, he was able to rip and tear apart even stronger demons. And the demon's armor is pretty on par with the. It's probably not as strong as the Mjolnir armor, but it's very strong. It's demon armor is bulletproof, like traditional grade bulletproof. And most traditional human weaponry would melt when it gets near demon skin, because they run very hot. Getting hit by demon fire is the equivalent of being hit by the suns, and the Doomslayer just shrugs that off with his Praetor armor. The energy he's able to siphon from his opponents does allow him to channel into certain parts of his armor, like I mentioned before, allowing him to channel into his speed and reloading, or his boost his weapon damage, or boost his strength up to being able to punch holes through the toughest and strongest of demons. Master Chief's armor sure is strong, and he does have Cortana to his advantage, but the Doomslayer has been fighting for thousands of years with no rest. Once he got his Praetor suit, the demons were not able to stop him, and they are the Doomslayer is the only thing that the demons fear. So much so that they went out of their way to trap him in a cursed sarcophagus and lock him away. And that was the only way they could stop him, was trapping him in a cursed sarcophagus. And even that wasn't enough to hold him, because he eventually escaped. With the help of humans on Earth, they brought his coffin up and he was able to escape and was able to once again resume killing everything in sight that stood a chance to harm humans. And that's my point.
Alright. Jeremy, this is the final hour. Walk us through your process and Just let us know who you think wins this battle.
Yeah. Besides some random things you said, Matt, without much backing up, specifically the Vega wouldn't last 2 seconds in the fight, but on the opposite end of the whole spectrum, Ezra, you kind of... I guess the best way I would put it is that Matt was able to pretty much counter any situation you put up with DoomSlayer, and you kind of just kept bringing up more and more facts. And I'm more familiar with DoomSlayer, and I can know where you were going with some of these points. But ultimately, if we were just going off of this debate, Matt, we won.
Yeah, Jeremy, you are a fantastic man. You have made the right choice today.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to beat Matt's debate. Matt was way too good of a debater.
1,000 kisses and hugs to you and your family. It felt good. That was a good debate. And I want to point out how I really did find it interesting that my poll was exactly 50-50 on Instagram. Just because I really thought it was going to be Master Chief sided, since he is like a more popular character.
I wasn't able to find too much stuff on the DoomSlayer, just because typically
he's powerful, but he doesn't have like a real backstory.
Yeah.
He's kind of an enigma.
That kind of had you with the DoomSlayer wouldn't be able to react because DoomSlayer has the mental capacity of like 2 brain cells. The man speaks in broken English. He says "me kill," like that's like 90% of his vocabulary.
I wanted to clarify that because I was reading up on that, and that was because his brain was fried from the Argent energy and PTSD is why he spoke like that in those cutscenes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the man was essentially caveman, which Matt, if you had, would have just ended the debate there because there's no counter to that. Just part of the reason I hate Doom Eternal.